Thank you. Hello. Hello, everyone. I have to confess that having me speak in front of a lot of people the day after the welcome drink is a bit hard for me, but I'll try to do my best. So, yeah, thank you, Lean Square and California, for having me start the day. So, as Xavier mentioned, I'm one of the startups that is linked to Lean Square. And I will explain to you why me as an artist, I chose to meet up and gather with Lean Square to scale my my company up. So yep. Yes. First of all, I have to tell you a bit about myself, which is not the thing I like to do the most, but I have to because otherwise you wouldn't really understand the focus of my startup. Anyway, I started music at the age of 12. At the time, it was pretty common to learn music by yourself and create a rock band. So that's what I did when I was in high school. We met up with some guys and we created a band that is called Roscoe. And we had luck because we signed right away with a cool label based here in Belgium, but that has European influence, which is Pias. And we signed with them for 2 albums. And those 2 albums won Album of the Year here in Belgium. So that allowed us to tour a lot in Belgium, of course, in France, in Germany, in Canada. So I really had those amazing years where we could record albums and tour. But the thing is that with this band, we really wanted to create songs all together. So the writing sessions were the 5 of us having to be happy with the track. And it's a pretty long process because a track was finished only when the 5 of us were happy with it. And that is very cool. That leads to something that I wouldn't have done alone, but it's also pretty long as a process. So around 2016, 2017, I decided that I wanted to write songs in a more intuitive way. So, but at the same time, I didn't want to have a solo project. I was the singer of the band, but I didn't want to have my solo project. I'm not the kind of guy that really likes to have all the eyes on me, like now, for example. But so I decided, okay, I want to write songs. So if I don't want to write songs for myself, I have to write for other artists. But I really wanted to find artists that related to me, that had a voice that I could really enjoy working on. So I fell in love with a voice. I was watching my television, and we have a TV program that you all know that is called The Voice. And I heard a voice that I really loved, and I wanted to write for her. So again, I had some luck because the first track that I wrote for this girl was chosen to represent Belgium for Eurovision in 2017. It did pretty well because we arrived 4th, and for a small country like Belgium, it's like very, very good. It was hit of the year in 2017, and it was airplayed in a lot of radios around Europe. So that was my first experience as a mercenary songwriter, and it was a pretty successful one. So that was really that really highlighted my work as a songwriter. So I began being invited to a lot of writing sessions, which are things that I didn't know. So I was thrown into a studio with people that I don't know, and I had to write a song for the end of the day. At first, I was really stressed out about this, but I found out that I really loved the experience, and I love being thrown away with people that I don't know, and we have to create something. So it became almost like a drug for me. So for a few years, I was sent to studios or home studios to write songs, and I really loved it. But the thing that I observed during those writing sessions is that we have too few infrastructures for writing sessions. So those writing sessions would occur either in a home studio, so it's often in a house or in the artist's house or in my house, which is cozy, but it's not always as comfortable as a proper studio. Or we did that in proper studios where when you had to record a piano, you had to call the sound guy and say, okay, we want to record the piano. He would take half an hour to plug the piano. And when you're ready to play the piano, you forgot the idea that you wanted to record. So I found that we were missing like this perfect place to write songs. So that's why during COVID, of course, that's when a lot of projects took life. During COVID, I had this project of launching a studio that's really designed for writing sessions. So I met with Xavier at Lean Square because, of course, it required like some investment, and we decided to work together on the opening of this studio. And this studio is actually located below your feet. So just a quick note: you can visit the studio anytime. So if you want to, I'll be there the 2 days. So if you want to come, you just ask me and we'll go down to the studio so I can show you what it's like. So we created the studio in 2022. A lot of people ask me, why do you create a studio in 2022? Because a lot of people, of course, can record at home and it's pretty easy to have like a quality recording now. But for me, really, the focus of my studio was not to have another recording studio. It was to have a songwriting studio, and songwriting sessions are really, really different than recording sessions, as I mentioned earlier. And that brings me to a more modern business model than other studios, because it's not only based on studio occupation. So the income comes from music production, so that's flat fees. That's 40% of the job. Publishing, so author rights. Since I write songs almost every day, I earn money with author rights, and this publishing part will grow and grow more each year, because of course I write more and more songs, so the publishing rights will rise and will become in a few years my main revenue. I also write for the screen, so original scores. It's approximately 10%. And the cool thing being a songwriter and having a studio is that when I have empty days, I can always write songs. And writing songs is never a loss of time, because except when I write really shitty songs, which happens sometimes, of course. But I'd really try to be creative on empty days too. And I have a small studio occupation, so some people come also to the studio to record, which is not the main purpose of the studio, but it's always nice to have two. Why did I become an artist and an entrepreneur? That's why we're here also, because a lot of people and a lot of friends of mine that are artists don't want to be entrepreneur. They want to earn money in some other ways. But I really believe that songwriting and producing songs is like craftsmanship. I really think that I have to craft song, and that I do something like a worker, and that I really have to create songs, and for that I sometimes need investment to achieve business development and goals. And we have less and less public grants for artists. I think it's the same in a lot of countries. So I really believe that we have to find creative partnerships and alternate fundings even for artists. And artists being able to gather with companies or with funds, I think is pretty interesting. And I really think that the ecosystem of startups and the ecosystem of creators are really linked, even in music. And Lean Square brings me the expertise in developing a company, and I have the expertise in songwriting and in music business. So that's why we really gathered, and that we are doing a good job scaling up together. So that's it. That was my presentation for today. I don't know if you have any questions. Feel free to ask. I'll be around for the next 2 days, so don't be afraid to come and talk to me. I'd be happy. And thank you very much for your attention.